the joke has gotten that bang is to indicate the Big Bang Theory for the third place universe. Like that was the Big Bang of where it began. Um, that's but that's not really what what I'm. I did have was gonna write a script for this because yesterday's was so chaotic and didn't make any sense. But uh, went out back and smoked a joint and paced around the house and then paced around the kitchen and now I think it's time to uh, just let it rip. There was a legitimate conversation in my head while I was walking around about how I went from walking around the house for about 20 minutes thinking about a comedy skit to walking around my kitchen and eating a banana because I was thirsty to going to the water cooler and it being empty and having a talk with myself about releasing one side of me to be in control and the current side in control is sad because he's going to go away and openly says that that's the side that likes to do nothing. So that was wild. I do know that this all sounds insane. I'm aware that chaos and insanity, there's that fine line between genius and insanity. There's a fine line between chaos and stability. And I think that fine line is faith and understanding. So, since chaos is no understanding or faith and awareness, maybe. Uh, uh, yeah, because awareness it would be understanding. So it would be faith and awareness. Um, and since nobody's watched this before and nobody's talked to me about this, this is all kind of you don't know anything and you're right next to where the Big Bang happened. So it's like none of this, all of this is going to be crazy. Um, so I do acknowledge that everything I'm going to say is crazy, but with a water-like current of there's a non-zero chance that it might be genius, and that's kind of what I'm doing. Is yes, I'm aware that everything I'm going to say and everything that I think and everything that I believe is crazy, um, based on my perspective of your perspectives. And I agree wholeheartedly that if I were in your perspectives, that I would think I was crazy. But I'm not in your perspective. I'm in my perspective, and I share all of your concerns and objections, um, but none of them are consume 100% of the experience. So there's a chance that what I'm trying to do happens, and it does not have to work every time. It just has to work this time, and that's kind of something that's been running through my head. Is that I have no idea what this is going to happen. What's going to happen? Um, but I do think everybody should live their life in the in the Tao, whatever it is that says you should do by doing nothing. And I think words got lost in translation with that, where it says, I don't think it means don't do anything. It means what do you do when you're not doing anything? What do you do when you're sitting around a fire smoking a joint? What do you do there? I thought about and talked about bunches and bunches of problems, then came up with a I don't know, ethos rule that I incorporated in that you can't complain. There is no problem unless there's a solution. If there's no solution, then it's just reality. And that turned into you can't complain about a problem more than 3 times without presenting a solution. And it went back to something that I give credit to my grandpa for saying, but I give everything, all the credit to things that I find profound to my grandpa, because I think that's what grandpas are supposed to be, the old wise men that say shit that you don't understand until later, and one day it smacks you in the face. And there is a version of this existence that's where I get to. I think I would enjoy being that old man that people sit around and talk to and looking for profound advice or whatever it is, and I say some stupid shit that doesn't make any sense to anybody, but later on it's like, oh my god, that's what it was. So that's what my grandpa is. He that's what that means when I say my grandpa said it. I I am trying to do. I think stand-up comedy is the other facet of making this third place universe, um, and the reason being is because I think it is important to be able to handle negative opinions. Another thing the the Tao says, and I do reference the Tao a lot because I've read it several times and thought about it. I am a confirmed Catholic. I guess would be considered atheist by most accounts, in that I don't believe that there is a God. I believe that we are God, if that makes sense. And I don't think it's we are God. It is that we are all sharing the same experience. We're all sharing the same um, action to react to. And I think that we're all connected in a way that we can do that. So that's, I don't know. I'm fucking stoned right now. So yeah, I was pacing around the yard and I was coming up with a routine that I was thinking about. Um, so one of the things I think have gotten away from in the world is just being involved in each other's lives. So like, there's no like the other day I was standing and I was watching the storm that was rolling through, and I was walking through my house, and I hear this dripping sound in the attic, and um, right now I'm unsupervised. I'm in the middle of like a 10-week of unsupervision, and I hear this dripping from the roof, and I'm like, "Fuck! I need to get this fixed." And I don't have anybody to fix it. And like where I grew up, in the stories that you hear of old time days, like you just knock on your fucking neighbor's door, and they would be like, "Oh yeah, I could do it for you. Just whatever, let me know." And then like give them a fucking casserole, and the shit gets done. Um, but now like I don't fucking know who my neighbors are. So like I think that it's important to be able to get back to that. And that's kind of the premise of the routine of like how I want the third place to be a place where the people are aware of each other, and if those people are moving in the same direction, that they take care of each other if they can, or if they can't, they point them in a direction of where they can get taken care of. Like I I think that we rely too much on the internet to do that, and it can steer us wrong because there's no intuition involved in it. Like you don't get to read the person that's giving to you to get that little spark or vibe or whatever it is. We need to get back to the intuition. I think the intuition of life. So that's kind of the long way to get around explaining what it is. So I really kind of just getting this out into the universe is going to be absolutely horrible because I literally just thought of this. So I want to run this and see what happens. So I really want to hate pharmaceutical companies. They are the worst part of the human virus. They feed on emotions. They change emotions to be only fear. They shifted everybody's purpose to be avoiding death rather than enjoying the experience. So I think that the most god awful thing ever to exist, but they also just might be genius. Uh, I was watching football TV. I don't fucking remember what it was, and there was this commercial where this guy is walking around like his neighborhood, and like a raccoon pops out of his fucking garbage can, and it pans to his neighbor, and he's like, "Oh, I got a guy for that." And a tree falls in his yard, and another neighbor's like, "Oh, I got a guy for that." And then something else happened, and I need to remember what the black guy said, and I need to remember what the guys were and make it kind of figure out what the guys were and make that. Yeah. So at the end of it, the guy who has all the stuff happen to him is standing around the three other guys and says, "Do you have a guy for perennious disease?" Now, if we ever get to a point in society where four men are standing around a barbecue and all four of those men know what perennious disease is, and all four of those men are okay knowing that that is that the disease is about their cocks being crooked, and are comfortable giving the information that they have a guy for, then I think that that's where society, that I think that's exactly what we're trying to achieve. And that's the commercial. It didn't come out funny at all. That's kind of the story arc, though. But all right. So that's my rambling for today. I guess I do need to write a script for this. But what else did I want to talk about? Um, 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 um. So I have a huge respect for Pat McAfee and watch his show on a regular basis. So I enjoy listening to them. I enjoy talking to them. I enjoy the possibility of everything. Like that is what the theory of everything is that everything happens and everything exists. So when there is such a one-sided discussion on a topic, I like to figure out or think about. I don't figure out anything, whatever it is. It's not really relevant to me, but I enjoy thinking about ways everybody could be wrong. It's funny. All right. Everybody could be wrong. That's actually the name of the third place's religion, is the WoW religion. We are all wrong. We'll get into that later. But that's the way that I kind of approach everything. And the latest thing that I find interesting is this Micah Parsons, Cowboys, Jerry Jones has lost a step. He doesn't want to win. A Super Bowl mentality. I think Jerry Jones may be maybe a next level genius with this whole ordeal, because and some people have referenced this, but they brush it off as wasteful or whatever. So if you're looking at the ecosystem or the economy or the universe of the NFL, it is about to go through a seismic shift in the way in which its product is being consumed. Network television is going away. Do any of us really think that we're going to be watching CBS Sports or ABC Sports or anything through a cable box or an antenna in the next 10 years? Probably not, right? Like, we're all going to be stealing each other's passwords for all these streaming platforms. So if that's the case, then teams are going to be, they're going to have so many different tethers or funnels or whatever the thing you want to call, siphon, where they will have to get information. Like, if you wanted to get information out news-wise, you would go to like the AP or whatever at one point. Like, everybody went to the AP, people watched the AP and then reported on that. We're now getting into such a decentralized era that now you need to make a splash. So Jerry Jones, from what I understand, I haven't seen any documentary. I hear they're all great. I probably will watch them after I watch the Pat McAfee show today or my nap. They usually coincide with each other. No disrespect, but I'm just happens. I'm like a shark. If I stop moving, I fall asleep. Doesn't matter what's happening around me. But I don't know Jerry Jones. I'm not a Cowboys fan. I'm aware of some of the stuff as it gets spit through my little filters of information. So understand that anything that I say is based on the facts and my reality. And I'm open to being corrected and the premise of what I have to say being corrected. But I also don't think my opinion of Jerry's going to change with any information, because I think the man is brilliant. If you are going to this new marketplace or this new marketplace where you're not going to be able to advertise your product in one area the way that Jerry used to do, like the Cowboys, we know that the Cowboys make the national game on Fox, but how many people are going to be watching NFL football on Fox in 5 years? So those national games are no longer going to be a thing. And Jerry Jones, come hell or high water, he is going to make sure that the Dallas Cowboys are the team that, if you don't know about the NFL, you know about the Dallas Cowboys. And if you are a Cowboy and if you look at the way that system is set up, when people say that Jerry Jones is not interested in winning a championship, okay. Here's a question for the people that say that. Why the fuck are we talking about your contract then? If the owner's job is to care about winning championships and you being in the best situation, and the owner's job is about giving you an extra, I don't fucking even know how much the contract is supposed to be, but all you need to do is play, how is that a fair exchange of value? Jerry Jones is basically telling you, yeah, motherfuckers, you can come here. I will give you all the money you want if you're the best player there is to offer, but you're going to have to earn it. And you're going to earn it in a way that is going to make it so the whatever millions of dollar contract, I get an ROI on it. And if that means I have to overpay or what other people consider overpay to do it, why the fuck wouldn't you? The press that Jerry Jones gets from this is amazing. And this is the way that he's going to continue to do it because it's free. And there isn't anybody that loses in this situation. There's some uncomfortable there are some uncomfortable moments for some people. I don't part of me in my reality. Now, I don't believe this to be true. But God, I want it to be so badly. I want this to be what happened. I want that conversation that happened in March to be Jerry Jones and Micah Parsons sitting in a room and Jerry going, I'm going to fucking give you whatever you want. This is what the contract that you want? Okay, cool. And like minor things change. Like I don't think there's a big dollar difference. I don't think there is. But the caveat to that is I'm going to make you earn it. And you don't like training camp anyway, right? It's a long fucking season. I don't care about you making sacks in week 1 against, are they playing the fucking Eagles? About whoever the fuck they're playing. Because week 1, when you're in the first round of the fucking playoffs, doesn't mean a fucking thing. I need you to be fresh. I mean, we say all of these star players rest through the preseason, and there's no conversation of it. All Micah Parsons is doing is resting through the preseason. And you're like, oh, he's not getting reps for the team, yada, yada, yada. Okay, well, do we get to refute that in week 2 and week 3 where everybody's like, nobody even fucking cares about this shit because the first 4 games of the season don't matter anyway? Like, what? I don't know. I'm rambling, but like that's what I think Jerry is doing. Jerry is I want him to tell Micah and I want him to tell all of the players that like that, yeah, I'll pay you, but welcome to the real world. MTV, circa MTV 1996. Everything is cyclical or whatever. Like we're getting back to, you want reality TV? Well, give me more reality than a Dallas Cowboys contract dispute. And you know what? I'm not going to be limited to a only CBS at 8 o'clock or only whatever. I'm going to make it so everybody wants to get it out there. And then when I pay Micah Parsons, you're going to talk about it for the entire year, and you're going to talk about it every time a defensive player has a contract of, are they going to make as much as the Dallas Cowboys paid Micah Parsons? If you're a player, a professional NFL player that is getting paid $40 million a year, you're telling me that ownership has not shown their commitment to winning a championship? What level do you need beyond that? You need them to make your team less relevant so it makes less money. So the next time you get paid, you have to make less money? Because I understand that we are under the impression that money grows on trees and we can just hit the enter button and get more of it. But that's not really how it all works. To get value, you must give value. And Jerry's giving you a bunch of value, and you're loving it, and he's loving it. And down the road, you're going to give Jerry that value back. And that's going to be press at the very least. And if you win a Super Bowl, awesome. So the lack of winning a Super Bowl and blaming it on a circus around you is, I find, an interesting tactic. I don't think you're wrong in it, but I think it's a weird excuse. Like, how much of that are you just accepting as a team? And how many times have you gone to Jerry Jones as a team or a coach or a player and offered a solution rather than just say it's a problem? How do you Jerry needs to make it a circus or whatever you want to call it. It's entertainment, baby. It's entertainment. And society needs two things. Two things. Government and competition. Government makes subtle rules to keep everybody from floating away, and competition shows who's what is the best at what. So Jerry Jones's system is to make the Cowboys the most relevant and valuable franchise in the world, and he has done that. And now his job is to maintain and grow, to raise the ceiling. Jerry Jones is setting the standard. And because everybody can't see it, you have to find something to blame on the chaos or the lack of understanding or the plan being out of focus. So you blame it on losing a step where he's gained a step and the rest of you have fallen behind. Do I think that that's true? I don't know. I want it to be true. I want Jerry Jones to be the smartest man in the room, and I want me to understand what he's saying because that makes me feel less dumb about all of the shit that I'm saying about what I'm trying to do here. But that's when I sit back and go, why is everybody thinking it's crazy and how could it be genius? That's how I think it's genius. And if you understand that as a player and you understand that as a coach, can you not prepare yourself to have to know that that's a thing? Like, I'm going to be on the Cowboys for my first contract. 3 to 4 years later, when I want to make buku money and be the highest paid whatever in whatever era of randomness, because that's apparently all that matters to NFL players is I'm the highest paid at what I do, not that I make enough to take care of me and mine and I play a game for a living. That's an interesting thing. And it's super funny when I hear people like, oh, they love the fans. Who the fuck do you think pays your salary? Like, the only one you fuck at asking for more money is the fans. Just saying. I mean, it's not. And the best part is the fans don't realize it either. So, I mean, I guess ignorance is bliss when you can just suck everything out of everybody. Yeah, so I don't know. I think what Jerry's doing is genius, and if he signs Micah 3 weeks into the season, doesn't rest mean something in the playoffs? Like having 3 less games as a edge rusher doesn't matter. I haven't played football in 20 years. I was a safety and a wide receiver, so I don't know. I don't know what being a professional outside edge rusher, having to deal with 400 fucking pound linemen running at you with amazing 4.5 speed at 400 fucking pounds. Like, I can't imagine that. And then tackling people and all the other shit that you have to deal with. That's got to be rough. Not having to do it, having to do it 4 less times than other people. Is that not a benefit? Is that not doing what it takes to win a championship? Because if he didn't play and you wanted him on the roster, would you not have to put him on like IR or something? If I have him in a holdout or a contract dispute, what does that mean? I don't know. These are questions. I'm not saying I don't know any of these answers. Like I'm operating under the assumption that I'm punching holes in my own argument, I guess. So these are the questions that I have. If you have the answer, that would be great. I would love to hear it. Maybe that does change, but like, if he is in a contract dispute, is that a different roster thing? Is it like roster gymnastics where you can test out a player that you wouldn't normally get to test out and see what they are before you sign them to a big deal? Or do you not? Does it take up a roster spot? I mean, that's the level that I think Jerry is at. I really want whatever it is Jerry's team to be on it. I think I don't remember if it was Ray Evernham or something I was watching on like Dale Earnhardt where it was Tony Yuri Jr. or something. I don't. The names might be wrong, but one of them, they were talking about manipulating the car and working in the gray areas, and like the gray areas are what holds your society and grows your society. Proper exploitation is needed for growth. Some discomfort is required to evolve, and I think maybe it's because we're bored. Maybe it's because we need something to talk about. Maybe I don't know. I mean, but I think that's what's happening. I think Jerry Jones is a genius. I think Jerry Jones is playing everybody for a fool. And in the end of the game, Jerry Jones is going to end up with the best player in the world, the the highest valued franchise, and the gap is growing, will be growing because of him. And you're all going to be sitting there going, oh, but Jerry doesn't care about winning a Super Bowl. And really, Jerry's system doesn't care about winning a Super Bowl. Jerry's system cares about the franchise, which is the entire entertainment process. The Dallas Cowboys team, which is in that locker room, they're the ones that are supposed to care about winning a Super Bowl. Is it part of the package that Jerry Jones and the ownership of the Dallas Cowboys has to deal with? Sure. Sure, but I don't think the franchise cares how many championships they win. And it's clear that the players don't care how many championships they win. They just care about how much money they make. Do some of them care at some point in their career? Sure. But in this period of Micah Parsons' career and other players at this point, that's not the thing that they care about. And I understand the argument that you got to take care of yours. Like, that's your system's problem. Your system is set up shitty. Your ownership, players, relationship, ownerships, players, fans, and that whole relationship is fucked. And nobody cares. And since there's so much to go around, nobody's ever going to fix it. And by the time somebody even realizes it's a problem, it's going to be too late because the system's going to collapse. That's the real entertaining part of this whole ordeal, is that we're all upset that somebody doesn't become the highest paid person. Like, this money shit is infinite. Like, I think we've come into the UV catastrophe when it comes to art receiving finance. And we think that it's either we think that it is infinite, or we're ignorant to what happens when we run out. So that's, I don't know, that went dark, but that was fun. What else was there that I wanted to talk about? Lee Corso. Lee Corso, if you don't know who that is I don't even know how to explain him. He's the headgear guy from like College Game Day's morning show. I don't really watch College Game Day. I don't like dealing. I have enough imaginary friends that I talk to. I don't need to listen to everyone else's imaginary realities talking about what they think they know about the future, which is really odd because that's exactly what I'm doing. But like when it comes to a football game, I don't need you to prepare. I don't need to be prepared for the experience of watching a football game. And that's what I think those shows are about. Like, I watch sports and competition merely for the experience of enjoying the art of competition. So those types of shows, I get what they're trying to do, and I appreciate it. There are parts of it I love. I love the kick where they give away money to college kids. That's pretty cool, and talk shit about kickers and whatnot. I enjoy the picks. I enjoy hearing who you think's going to win. Like that's I, I that one I enjoy that part of it. I don't like all of the stories or whatever. Some of them are cool. Some of them are like we're reaching here just to fill time, and most of it is like just filling time, and they just keep getting longer and longer and longer. So it's like, fuck it, I'm out. But Lee did the headgear thing, um, and he's retiring on Saturday. I didn't put a lot of thought into Lee Corso until recently. Obviously, he's older. He's going to enjoy the rest of his time with his family. Um, but as I learn more and more about him, I think that he is the standard. From what I understand, from listening to people like Kirk Herbstreit talk about him, uh, he he knew the assignment. He had his purpose. His purpose in life, in his speech that he gave, was he would just wanted to make people happy. And if he made, and I'm paraphrasing and just summarizing what I remember, if he had made one person happy, it would have been worth it. Um, and that, I think, is the way that he existed, along with um, an incredible amount of integrity for the product, is what I'll say. Um, the reason I say that is the story that I think I heard Kirk Herbstreit say about how Lee Corso, when he would be um, either forced to mingle or mingle with the people at games that you need to hobnob with, he wouldn't talk to coaches, and he wouldn't do it because he wanted to make sure that whatever he was saying during the broadcast was unbiased. And I found that to be interesting, that like he wanted to make you happy, but also wanted to make sure he was being a lens rather than a filter. And that is what I hope. That is what I want for people, is to see the world through the experiences of people who want to be a lens rather than want to be a filter. Do I think Lee Corso had opinions? Sure, he had the not so fast and he had the headgear thing, so for sure. But I think that his opinions were based on his experience, which his experience, it's going to be his experience, but like his awareness of the situations. So you experience a situation and then you're aware of everything else, if that makes sense. So to be aware, you must experience and know. Like, what's the difference? Like, if you watched F1, right? F1, there's a part in F1, whether I think it's at the beginning, where the kid gets out of the car and says something about the car not working, and the the mechanic lady goes, "I need you to talk to me about it. Where is it? This and that." He's like, "Everywhere." And she rolls her eyes and is like, "What? You got to help me." And the kid didn't understand. Like, he could drive a car, he can experience the situation. He's aware that the car doesn't work right, but he's not aware of why. And then the other older guy gets in and he like rattles everything off. Oh, it's loose going in because I'm this off the throttle and down this much. He rattles off a bunch of shit that I don't understand. But like, that's the difference between somebody who's being a filter and somebody who's being a lens. Is they have the understanding of the awareness and are speaking and presenting the value from that origin, that infinity, that point, as opposed to most of us, if any of us even get to the point where we experience the situation, and even fewer of us get to the point where we experience the situation enough that we're aware of it. So Lee Corso is referred to as one of one because he is one of very few people who live their life in the experiencing and awareness phase and was able to go to that awareness and be aware of it enough to give the rest of us some insight to that experience, if that makes sense. And I think it's amazing. And his family is going to, and the world, the universe that Lee Corso created, probably sooner than we want to admit after Saturday, is going to experience an immense loss when Lee Corso passes away. And it's not, I don't think it's a loss. I think it is just a transition of Lee Corso's consciousness moving from our physical point of view and moving to whatever the consciousness perspective is. And when that happens, there is going to be an experience ripple that is going to have an emotional response. I think it should be joy and happiness, but understand how some of you will experience it as sadness. But we're only sad because it's over and because it was so amazing while it was happening. So for that, I would like to say thank you to Lee Corso. I don't think you'll ever hear this. But I'm putting it into the universe to maybe one day you will experience it and know that you did have an impact on my existence, and I may not be able to speak for everybody else, but you certainly made me happy on more than one occasion by just being you. So thank you, and I appreciate that. So yeah, what do we got next? All right, should we talk about the third place universe? So I haven't built the site yet. I haven't done anything. Honestly, if anybody knows anybody that wants to build a website, I have some of it done using React and Next.js to program it. If anybody wants in, let me know. Any help would be great help. I think we're going to start off as just signing up before we do the ownership payments. I don't want to set up all of that shit and then nobody's ever interested. Seems like, maybe I will. Who cares? Depends on how hard it is. But the two things that I want to build first, I do think that the things that we need to have a sustainable business where we have you as the owners everywhere and me as the CEO and primary owner, is we need to be able to have a very transparent way to do things, and we need to have a purpose that can expand. So I do want to build a blockchain so I can start we can start putting everything on that blockchain, communications, everything. I want the blockchain to be able to be viewed by all of the owners. So if you're an owner, you can review any of the information and see it. I don't really know exactly how blockchains work. Maybe you can copy, you'll be able to access everything that is involved with this. Obviously there'll need to be there are some things of information that will need to be dealt with, like account numbers like bank account numbers for the company and EIN numbers and those types of things because I don't know. Like in my mind, I don't have a problem with everybody knowing what it is, but with multiple systems running that use it, the access, I don't know. I don't know. I guess that'll be something that the owners will have to decide how we handle and what we handle it with. But I do see that that's something that just popped into my head as being an issue with it. But I really do want to create something that is fully transparent. Like I'm going to I'm going to be as transparent with everybody as I feel is necessary at the time. I have nothing to hide. There's you can certainly find me if you look, and you can find things that other people might find appalling, and you'll find things that other people might not care about. Like past and the future are all imaginary. We can only control and judge based on the current actions. So my past is my past. It has brought me to this point, and my point in this experience at this point, my actions are literally to try to make it so everybody can live like they have a rich girlfriend. So there's that. Yes, we need to build that. I think it's like $250,000 to build it from the ground up is the quote that I got. Obviously, I want to handle that as internally as we can. So hiring people that are owners, and building ancillary companies is kind of the purpose of what I'm trying to do here. Is like, what do we need as a society to grow, and who in the society can do it, and are we as a company able to provide them with the value that they need to do it. That's that's really what I'm trying to do. I want to start the companies that I want to start are going to be. I do want to start that blockchain. I want to start a pickleball league, and I want to. The big company that I want to start is a 3D printing construction company. This gives us the foundation to expand into whatever size we want with those three pieces. The pickleball league that turns into an entire entertainment division. The construction is going to be the business division, and the blockchain will be the government division. Observed by me as the owner representative, or as the primary owner, and then the owners will have a vote as well. So I vote, it's 50%. So basically, as long it's probably going to be most of the time whatever the owners want, unless it's something that I don't understand, and then it probably won't be. But that's how it's going to work until I retire, and then my part of the company, my part of the voting rights will go to the participants of the company. So owners, at that point we'll probably have owners and members, but it will go to all of them, owners, members, and then all of the companies that are involved. So basically the entire system, each individual will have a vote, so that will kind of be the representation of everybody. And voting is has to be a little bit different. You can't have a one-sided level of transparency. there needs to be multiple levels, or it needs to be complete transparency from all systems. So since we're starting this company, and this company is going to own all of the other companies, all of the voting is going to be done the same. But the company can only control what it owns and what participates in it. So we need to be aware of the number of entities that are in the system. And the reason that that's important is because the system is not driven on yeses and nos, as was illustrated with the Jerry Jones story. The system runs on the exploitations. And the only way you can find the exploitations is if you understand what everything is doing. Everyone thinks that we're never going to have a president that's actually really elected, because we do not get the entire we do not consider the entire population. We consider all of the fanatics, so all of the people who are the ride and die bitches, right? I'm going to vote Trump no matter what. I'm going to vote for a Democrat no matter what. We count all of those. And we count the ones who care enough, right? Like, oh, well, I don't think Trump should be president, so I'm going to vote for this person. Or as long as it's not a Democrat, I don't care that. We miss an entire portion of the population, and that's people who just don't fucking care. How many people don't vote at all? And that's a vote. And that's why it's important that all of the voting is done. We understand who's eligible to vote. We understand who does vote. We understand who people vote for. But ultimately, we also understand who doesn't vote. If the issue has all of this noise, it's hard for people to understand that really not that many people care about it. But if I have a vote, and that vote has the entire system, and it shows that 80% of the people don't even care enough to vote, well, that's kind of a telling sign that it's not really an issue. And you fuckers that care about it 20%, you can go over there and fix it yourself. And the reason why it also benefits everybody to know who's voting for what, you know who should be talking to each other. You know who needs to absolve some issues and come to some compromises and understand a better reality. So that's my talk on the system for right now. Sorry about the bad joke. I do need to work on that. I thought it was funny in my head. I really wanted it to be funny. The Jerry Jones thing I think is interesting. I'd be intrigued to hear what other people think about it, but I don't think anybody's ever going to listen to it. I had a great closing that I came up with. Fuck. It was really good, and I don't remember what it is. I mean, it always is going to end with, we all speak different languages. Some of us speak with words. Some of us speak with actions. There is no action without a reaction. So react often, react with purpose, and if possible, react kindly.